Okay, so we're diving right in today, getting to the bottom of what's really in our makeup bags and skincare routines.
Yeah, digging deep into these products.
We've been hearing from a lot of you, and honestly, it seems like the beauty industry sometimes puts profits before people.
Unfortunately, that does happen sometimes.
And we're here to break it all down. Like, what are those harmful ingredients lurking in our favorite products?
Right. And what can they do to our bodies?
And most importantly, what are some safer alternatives? Like, let's be real. We all want to look and feel good.
Of course, and do it safely, too.
Exactly. So let's kick things off with something a lot of people are talking about. Parabens.
Parabens. Okay, so you'll find these in tons of products, right? They're preservatives, which means they keep bacteria and stuff from growing.
Makes sense. We don't want mold in our moisturizer.
Exactly. But here's the thing. Some parabens, especially these ones called methylparaben and propylparaben, well, they can actually mimic estrogen in the body.
Oh, wow. Estrogen mimicking, that sounds a little...
Yeah, and that can disrupt your hormones. And some research even suggests a potential link to skin irritation.
I've definitely heard about hormone disruptors. Isn't that something we want to avoid?
Absolutely. And just to give you an idea of where you might find them, think lotions, makeup, even some hair products.
Okay, so parabens are definitely on the watch list. Now, what about phthalates? Those in plastics, right?
You got it. But they also sneak into our beauty products.
Really? What do they even do in beauty products?
Well, they're often in fragrances, to make the scents linger longer. And sometimes they're used as solvents.
So they're like hidden ingredients we don't even know are there.
Often, yeah. And here's the catch with phthalates. They're also linked to hormone disruption and potentially even developmental issues and problems with fertility, especially with repeated exposure over time.
That's scary. So how can we even know if they're in our products?
That's the tricky part. They often hide behind that generic term fragrance or parfum on the label.
So fragrance isn't always so innocent.
Not always. It's like an umbrella term, so you never really know what's lurking beneath it.
All right, so fragrance is a red flag. Moving on, formaldehyde. Now that one sounds serious.
Yeah, formaldehyde is a pretty strong chemical. You'll find it in some hair straightening treatments, some nail products too, and even certain skincare products. They use it as a preservative.
As a preservative, why would they use something so harsh?
Well, it's effective at what it does, but the thing is, formaldehyde is a known carcinogen, and it can cause respiratory problems, and some people have really bad reactions to it, like skin allergies.
Wow. That sounds like something we definitely want to avoid. And you know what's interesting? You keep mentioning fragrance.
Yeah, well, fragrance is tricky. It seems harmless, but it can be a real issue.
So it's not just about a nice smell.
No, not at all. Remember how I said it's an umbrella term? That means it can include hundreds of different synthetic chemicals, and they don't have to list them individually.
So we're basically in the dark about what we're putting on our skin.
Pretty much. You might be sensitive or allergic to something in there, and you'd never know what hit you. It could be causing skin irritation, respiratory problems, you name it.
So that's 2 strikes against fragrance. Okay, last but not least, let's talk about SLS. That's sodium lauryl sulfate, right?
Right. You know it as the ingredient that makes everything so foamy and bubbly.
Yeah. Shampoos, body washes, face washes, it's everywhere.
It's a surfactant, so it creates that lather that makes us feel like things are getting clean.
But is it really that bad?
Well, it can be. SLS can be really harsh on your skin. Think of it like this. It strips away your natural oils, which can lead to dryness, irritation, and even weakens your skin's natural defenses.
Oh, no. So our skin needs those natural oils.
Definitely. It's a protective barrier. If you've ever used a product and felt that tight, dry feeling afterwards, SLS might be the culprit.
So we've talked about all these individual ingredients, parabens, phthalates, formaldehyde, fragrance, and SLS. But what does it mean for us in the long run? If we're exposed to these things every day, is there a cumulative effect?
That's a big concern, and it's something researchers are actively looking into. It's that constant low-level exposure that can add up over time. Some studies suggest it could lead to hormone imbalances, potentially impacting fertility. There's even research pointing to possible increased cancer risks.
That's really worrying. And it's not just about what's happening inside our bodies, right?
Yeah.
Our skin is our largest organ, and it can react to these things too.
Absolutely. These harsh chemicals can wreak havoc on your skin. They can trigger allergic reactions, like rashes, breakouts, even eczema flare-ups. Plus, they can disrupt your skin's microbiome.
Microbiome, that's the good bacteria that keeps our skin healthy, right?
Right. And when it's disrupted, it can lead to all sorts of problems.
Okay, so we've talked about personal health. But what about the environmental impact of all these chemicals?
That's a crucial part of the conversation, too. The production of these chemicals, the plastic packaging, it all contributes to pollution. Then there's the whole issue of greenwashing, where brands try to make their products seem eco-friendly, but the ingredients or practices aren't actually sustainable.
So it's all about looking beyond the marketing and really understanding what's going on.
Exactly. It's about transparency and making conscious choices.
Speaking of conscious choices, what about clean beauty? It's a buzzword we hear everywhere, but what does it actually mean in practice?
Well, it's not a regulated term, unfortunately, but generally, clean beauty refers to products made without ingredients considered harmful to our health or the environment. It's about using safer alternatives.
So how do we know if a product is truly clean?
Looking for certifications can help. Cruelty-free, vegan, organic, and non-toxic are good ones to look out for, but ultimately it comes down to reading labels and understanding the ingredients.
Which brings us to our next point, natural ingredients. What about things like aloe vera or shea butter?
Those are great examples. Nature has provided us with amazing ingredients that have been used for centuries. They're often gentler on the skin, better for you in the long run, and kinder to the planet.
So it's like going back to basics, in a way.
In a way, yes. And embracing the power of nature.
Okay, let's get practical. Those ingredient lists can be overwhelming. How do we even begin to decipher them? Any tips?
Absolutely. First of all, if it's a super long list with a bunch of chemical names you can't pronounce, that's a red flag. And pay attention to the order of ingredients. The higher up on the list, the more of that ingredient is in the product.
That makes sense. Anything else we should watch out for?
Be careful with terms like unscented. That doesn't necessarily mean fragrance-free. It could mean they've added a masking fragrance to cover up other scents.
Wow, so there's a lot of hidden stuff to be aware of. It can feel a bit overwhelming to make a change. Where do we even start?
You don't have to overhaul your entire routine overnight. Just start small. Pick one product you use every day, like your foundation or your moisturizer, and look for a cleaner alternative. Even small swaps can make a difference.
That's encouraging. What else can we do?
Spread the word, talk to your friends, family, share what you're learning, support brands that are transparent, and advocate for more information. The more voices we have, the more the industry will have to listen.
So it's about creating a ripple effect.
Exactly. Collective action can lead to real change.
So to wrap things up, why should people care about all of this?
It's simple, really. The choices we make about our beauty products have a direct impact on our health, on the environment, and on the well-being of future generations. It's about making informed choices that align with our values.
So in this deep dive, we've uncovered some of the common harmful ingredients lurking in our beauty products, from parabens and phthalates to formaldehyde, fragrance, and SLS, and we've explored the empowering world of clean beauty and natural alternatives.
Knowledge is power. Take a look at your product labels, do some research, you might be surprised by what you find.
It's about taking back control of our health and well-being, one informed decision at a time. Now here's a final thought. As we demand greater transparency from the beauty industry, what new innovations might emerge? That's something to consider. Thanks for joining us today.